Now it's time to move on to the mouth. Now you guys, make sure that you're not baking those M&Ms when they are completed. Just set them aside. And here I have used this little template that I provided for you guys to print out. And I'm just going to trace around this, and then I'm going to smooth out those sides as well. To smooth it out even more, I'm just going to apply a little bit of baby powder. Now this is that cornstarch baby powder, and I'm just going to smooth this out with my fingers, kind of rounding off the edges just a little bit and making sure that everything is smooth and there's no jagged edges. Now that little paper template that I have for you guys to print out, you can use that or you can make your own mouth. I'm going to show you both ways. But here I am just pushing this on, this little shapes, so I can match what I've done here when I drew this out for you guys. So now I'm just going to attach this little mouthpiece, and I'm going to use a little bit of an adhesive, and I'm going to attach it and then smooth it out. And then I'm going to use a little bit of baby powder on my finger and completely smooth this back, and then try to mimic that shape that I have here on the other one. And I'm also going to trim this in half just because I feel like it's a little bit too thick. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and do this on the opposite side, and I'm going to smooth that out, doing that same thing that we did using our template as a guide. And then for the tongue, I'm going to use the template for that. I just pushed it in, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it around, and I'm going to just start shaping this and opening it up and smoothing it all out. Now you don't have to use a template if you don't want to, but you can use the template to make it a little bit easier for you. So here I am just rounding out those edges, and then I'm also going to be pushing this downward so I have a nice kind of dipped look, so it looks like the tongue is really in the mouth. And now I'm just going to attach this here down at the bottom, and I want to make sure that it's nice and rounded off and it's not just kind of sticking up. And I'm just going to do this just because I don't want the tongue to look so flat, and I'm going to start smoothing this out just a little bit, doing that same thing again and matching it up to my template that I drew. I also rolled out a small snake, and I'm so sorry that I did get a little bit off camera here. Let me move this up a little bit, and I'm going to just attach this right here at the bottom, and then I'm going to smooth it out just a bit, not too much. You just want to make it look like this is the bottom part of the mouth. You can remove off the excess and you can smooth it out. And then we're going to bake this, but before we bake this, we want to make sure that we're not baking it flat, otherwise it's going to crack when we put it on. So what we're going to do is take some aluminum foil and wrap it around our egg first, and we're going to make kind of a little model for this to sit on, and this is how we're going to attach this later. So we want to make sure that it's going to fit on the front of our egg just like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and bake this for 3 hours at 170 degrees. And then moving on, we're going to go ahead and start doing the eyes. To do the eyes, I'm just going to take some white polymer clay, and I'm going to stretch this out, and then I'm going to be using these little cutters here that I have, and I will leave a link for these cutters for you guys. And I'm going to be using the second to smallest for the eyes. I went ahead and added a little bit of baby powder. That'll also help them be removed and smooth them out. And then I'm just going to push this other one in, and I'm going to make 4 of these. And then for the pupil, for the first one, which is going to be the yellow one, we're going to just roll out 2 of the same size balls, and I'm going to do that for both of the yellow and the blue, but I'm going to show you just by moving the pupil around, you can do different expressions in the eyes. Just going to roll them out and making sure that they're the same size, and then I'm going to push them down and then shape them out. I have a little template for you guys for that as well, so you guys can use that. And then I'm just going to use some baby powder, and I'm going to start going around the edge here and smoothing out this edge. You want it to be more flat on the edge, and then you're going to smooth it out with some more baby powder. Now for this one, I'm going to start placing the eyes, and this one is going to be for the blue one, and I'm going to kind of make it a matte expression, so I want his eyes looking at the yellow one. And then I'm just going to push these in. For the yellow one, I'm going to put the eyes in the center because I want him really happy, just having a lot of fun. So to make these eyelids, I'm going to just roll out some clay, and I want to make sure that it's not too thick. And then I'm going to smooth it out, and then I'm going to use my larger cutter. And this one cutter here is going to make both eyelids. And you're going to repeat that same process with the yellow one, just like we did for the blue one, removing out that clay. And then we're going to take this and cut this in half. And make sure that you get it as even as you can. And then you're going to lay these out, and you're going to do the same with the blue. And you're going to take your cutter and you're just going to use the side of it and make kind of a little indent like so, and remove that extra piece. And make sure you do that with the blue. And then I'm going to gently stretch this over, and then I'm going to start attaching these eyes and smoothing it out. So what I've done is allowed it to be just a little bit longer than the eye itself. Now you can bake the white part of the eye first before adding the eyelids. I did go ahead and do that. It just makes it easier, and you can kind of move it around a little bit better. And here I'm just going to show you up close. So I'm just attaching that eyelid in the back, and I'm not going to be adding any adhesive at this time. I did go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive later to the inside of the eyelid by the pupil. You can do that. You do not have to. I realized later I did not need any adhesive when I smoothed this out in the back. It definitely stuck on there. So here I am just smoothing all of this out, and I'm going to repeat that same process with the other yellow eye. And I wanted that eyelid to go right over the top of the pupil like so. And I'm going to do that same thing here with both of these. And then I'm going to get my placement here for the yellow. Now for the yellow one, I went ahead and just kind of made a little print first. And then I'm going to start scoring this so it will stick. Now I went ahead and heated up my clay, as you can see, with my hair dryer. So now I'm just going to attach that upper mouth part on, and I'm just going to use a long strip of clay here. And then I'm going to smooth all of this out, and then you're going to smooth in the upper part. And you don't want to do anything with the bottom part because this is going to be the upper lip, but you want all of that top part smoothed out. So I'm just going to take my thumb and gently pull up. Don't worry if it does pull the clay, you can push it back down as you go. And I'm just going to very gently, like so, pull all this clay up and smooth it all out. Once I get to the side of the mouth here, I'm going to pull downward, and I want this to look like an open mouth. So I'm going to pull this down just a little bit and smooth all of this out. The cheek, I've just taken a half ball of clay, and I'm going to place this on, and then I'm going to start smoothing it out just like I did that upper lip. And I'm going to start smoothing all of this out and making sure that there's no seams on the sides. And then I'm just going to continue to smooth this out. You can go ahead and skip this part if you've gotten it down, but I really wanted to make sure that I showed a lot of this video. So it is a very time-consuming tutorial, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any part to really help guide you guys through this. Now for the bottom, I'm going to do exactly that same thing, just adding a little bit larger strip here. This is a banana shaped strip, and I'm going to start attaching this on, not attaching the bottom part of the mouth opening. I'm only going to be smoothing out the bottom part where it goes down the outside of the mouth. Don't do anything with that outer lip. You're just making this bottom part smooth here. It's definitely easier for me to show you. So here you can just see that I'm grabbing it and I'm only pulling that bottom part in, not touching that outer part of the lip. And then I'm just going to smooth all this out just like so. And now we can go ahead and add a little bit more clay in places that need clay. And I really want to smooth all of this out really nicely before moving to the next step. Now that we've gotten everything smoothed out, I'm going to go ahead and start attaching the eyes. And here the eyes are. I absolutely love how this came out. He came out super nice and shiny. So I'm going to move on to the next step, and that is adding RM back to the bottom. You can go ahead and move to the next part of the video.